Everybody,
I'm Henry.
and I'm Robert, and we're just two guys
2026.
Today, we're talking about current events regarding Iran. And the music that's playing is the Imperial March by Star Wars. We do not own the rights, but we feel like it's fitting for this topic. So, today, Iran. What's happening in Iran, how we feel it's necessary, how we feel about the ramifications, and how we feel basically about the whole situation. And Henry is taking the lead on this because he is our political correspondent who knows and is very up to date with all of the happenings that is occurring now in the Middle East and Iran with Israel and the United States. As you know, the United States went in and bombed Iran, killing their supreme leader, disabling their nuclear capabilities. And what's the third one?
They crushed their command and control center and took out most of their offensive missiles.
Correct. And the only reason why this is a war, it's not because it's a war because Iran has retaliated. I think Iran should have done what Venezuela did and did nothing.
Exactly. And when you think about it, right, who are the players? Well, of course, the U.S., Israel, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, all of these countries, except, of course, the U.S., Iran, and Israel, were minding their own business, right? Iran lashed out, fired missiles, drones, killed innocent civilians, destroyed property, and caused just havoc and panic. Well, guess what? All these countries now are joining the United States and Israel against Iran, right? What they should have done is nothing, right? Nothing, just like the Venezuelans, right? But they didn't. They lashed out, and they created a bigger problem. Now, what are we doing there, right? Why are we there? Why did this conflict start? Well, let's face it, Iran is state sponsorship of terror, right? They sponsor terror through their proxies, Hezbollah, right? All these other terrorist groups, Hamas, all these terrorist groups are being backed by them with money, weapons, and everything else they need. There can never be peace in the Middle East as long as Iran is continuing to sponsor these terror groups, right? Israel will always be on the lookout. They'll always be fearful, right? So something had to be done, right? When you look back on the history of this conflict and the constant back and forth between Israel and Iran, what was ever done? Well, recently we bombed and tried to obliterate their ability to make a nuclear weapon. So did Israel, right? Before that, Israel would strike. They would launch weapons and retaliate. This is a back and forth that's been going on for years, right? The only way to try and ensure peace was regime change, right? Take out the maniac who's a bloodthirsty dictator who killed hundreds of thousands of his own people and wanted to wipe Israel off the face of the map.
And almost 10,000 recently before we displaced him because the people were protesting.
That's right.
Body bags in piles.
That's right.
Which is why I don't understand this country is protesting what we did. I don't get it. It needed to be done. You can't have peace if you have tyrannical people in power, and the Ayatollah was that.
There's no question. He was a murdering maniac, and everyone is better off that he's gone. The region's better off that he's gone. Now it's the fallout. What's going to happen? Who's going to take over, right? We've totally annihilated most of the top leadership. However, they still have their armed forces. Yeah, we've sunk their navy, but they still have a lot of ground forces available. The Revolutionary Guard is still in power in some shape, way, or form, right? So who's going to take over? and what's going to happen? That's the big question. That's the big question. Hopefully, and I say hopefully, the Iranian people will be able to decide their own fate. But I'm not sure it's going to work out that way. That's why the U.S. and Israel, and now these other countries, are going to continue to attack and try and level the playing field so democracy might prosper. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm hopeful that it might happen. But again, the Iranian people are going to have to rise up and try and do their best to take back their country. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be bloodshed? Yes. Are people going to die? Without question. But something needs to be done, and they're the only ones that can do it. We can't continue to bomb that country for an indefinite period of time, right? But there's got to be something that happens on the ground, and the Iranian people are at the forefront of this. The tip of the spear. They got to rise up. They have got to try and change things themselves. I'm not so sure we're going to send troops in there, right, Robert?
We shouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
No, that's not what I believe is what the current administration wants to do. Strategically speaking, this was also a bigger thing than just getting rid of a tyrannical, tyrant murdering supreme leader. You also have to look at this strategically. I don't think the world understands that we have one common enemy.
And that enemy
is China.
China.
So
people.
Iran, having a major oil reserve, was giving oil free to the Chinese.
Now we can't
confirm that.
We cannot confirm or deny that.
But again, that is the consensus,
right? So again, China is the bigger problem. But right now, the question is, how long is this going to last? Right? What is the end game? Right?
Well, the end game has to do a lot with the things that I'm bringing up here is the strategy behind it. You're ridding a dictator. You are crippling and almost unenabling them to create any military nuclear weapons. Am I correct?
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Eliminate that.
Yes. And what you're doing is preventing Iran from what some people are saying, giving their oil free away to the Chinese for other types of benefits. Who knows? So strategically, what the administration is doing by doing what they did in Venezuela to remove Maduro is to save the Western Hemisphere's oil, because Venezuela has the third largest oil reserve on the planet, something like that.
I'm not exactly sure how large oil reserve is, but they were a founding member of OPEC.
Yes.
So that says a lot.
That says a lot. And they were giving oil to China. That has been proven.
That is true.
So when you look at what the Americans are doing strategically, we're not occupying Iran. We're not occupying Venezuela. We are protecting the Western Hemisphere's best interest. And if you can't get along with this, I don't understand the ridiculous behavior of the American people protesting what we're doing in Iran. We are not occupying Iran. We are not at war with Iran. We are at war with an Islamic regime. Correct?
Well, we're at war with Iran, which is an Islamic regime.
But right. If there was no Islamic regime, we wouldn't have a problem.
Right. Well, we would hope so. We would hope so. But again, at the end of the day, how long do we stay there? How much can we accomplish? Again, I state the fact, when you look at revolution throughout history, right? Let's take the Philippines, right? People power. Benigno Aquino assassinated, right? The people rose up and took power from Marcos. They took it away. And they became a peaceful democracy again after years and years of dictatorship under Ferdinand Marcos, right? People power, right? That's what I'm saying right now. The people of Iran have got to come together, have got to rise up, and have got to take their country back. I think that has to be done, and it has to be done sooner rather than later to affect significant change. Because even though we've killed the top leadership, and Khomeini as well, that government is going to try and reconstitute itself in another shape, way, or form, and continue the horrible policies, that they have against women, minorities, and other marginalized communities, and keep their people down, right? Control the internet, control their create their propaganda, and not tell the truth about what's happening in this world. So I state this again, and I can't be more clearly and emphasize enough that the Iranian people have got to rise up. They've got to become the tip of the spear. They've got to take back their country.
Well, here's another thing about propaganda, which is really annoying in the United States. Literally 24 hours after the bombing occurred, and when this headline came out, which was a manipulated headline and to benefit the extreme left's propaganda crap, they said the Americans bombed a children's school where hundreds of children died. That is incorrect.
Again, we cannot confirm or substantiate that's an
but there's
specified claim.
There is proof behind that their own missiles faltered after being fired on and fell in their own community.
Now, that could have happened.
It did. There's video on it.
Again,
but what I'm saying
you're not 100% sure.
Propaganda.
So don't take what we're saying as fact.
Propaganda is what's really the negative aspect in the aftermath of the United States' reaction in the public.
Now, I've got, look, I'm not a big fan of the current, political situation here, but I've got to say that the president, had the wherewithal and the balls to do what not many people have done before, right?
And the hypocrisy is Hillary Clinton's part of her speech was she was doing the same thing.
Right. So you've got to give him some props for doing what he's doing. Now, could he have gone about it a different way? Could he have involved Congress? Could he have put together a binding resolution? Blah, blah, blah. Get the UN involved. We all know when that happens, not really much gets done. I mean,
and the plan is outed.
Right.
They get wind of it. Nothing gets done. I agree with his executive decision to do what he did.
So I do too. But now the greater, the real situation is this, right? Will the Iranian people get together? Will they coalesce as one and be able to take back their country? I'm very worried about that. I'm very worried that what's left of this regime will reconstitute itself and try to impose its will again on the Iranian people. I really want them to come out and take back their country. I think they need to do that.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that. With Venezuela in a similar situation, I haven't heard anything about the people taking back the government there because, of course, the media is blacked out.
No, but in Venezuela, there was a legal transfer of power to the I believe the vice president, right?
Okay.
So again, are there troops there? Nominal force. Is there some force still in the Caribbean? Yes, but again, the majority of those troops have been pulled back. And again, Venezuela is peaceful. It's calm, right? Right. All the posturing with Maduro yelling, "Come get me," blah blah blah. It's over, right? The drama has been diffused. He's gone, and hopefully he'll never come back. And hopefully now the Venezuelan people will have true democracy. Will be able to prosper and reap the rewards of their oil. Think about that. One of the richest oil countries, in terms of reserves in the world, where their people were starving. It was horrible economic situation in Venezuela, right? And who imposed that? Maduro. He's gone. Let's see what happens. I'm hopeful that the Venezuelan people will bounce back. I'm hopeful their economy will turn around. I'm hopeful that they'll begin to grow and prosper again, as opposed to what was going on for so many years under that dictator who was a complete clown, right? But let's shift back to Iran. What is going to happen now, right? We're not sure. the administration says it's going to be there for as long as it takes. What does that mean? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? What do you think?
The shorter, the better. This doesn't need to turn into Vietnam and Korea. Secondly,
I don't think it's going to go there.
Secondly, I'm the type of person that doesn't believe in occupation because we haven't even taken care of our own backyard. So, but I like what they did in Iran. I like what the United States did. I like what Israel did. And now the countries that are being innocently bombed because of American bases or Israel occupation, there are more countries now that have sided with us.
Well, no question.
So
they have joined the coalition, and they are going to let us use whatever resources they have available to help us.
So I am hoping this is a short operation in terms of the occupation. You know, again, I've always had issues with us helping other countries and occupying them.
We're not occupying.
It's none of our business except for the best interest of their people. And, you know, the Iranian people are actually celebrating what we did.
That's right. The Iranian people here in America and abroad are celebrating. In every country in the world where there are Iranians, they're happy.
Yeah.
They're hopeful.
Yeah.
They're wishing for a better tomorrow, right?
So people in this country bitching about what happened really need to shut the fuck up. And I'm sorry, I'm saying it the way it is. And I don't care if I cross other people's bridges and their little political points of view. The big picture is this was the best thing to be done. And I'm very happy that the United States did it.
Well, what we want, and I think what anybody wants, what everybody wants, is the Iranian people to take back their country.
Yeah,
right?
Let them live and prosper.
So let's hope that this is the catalyst that helps them do it, right? Because I don't want boots on the ground. I don't want an occupying force. I don't think anybody wants that. But it's hard to maintain a regime change from the air, right? You can't do it remotely, right? So the people need to come together. The people need to rise up, and the people need to form their coalition government, right? A lot of countries have done the same thing. They need to do it. The leaders need to come out, right? Come out of hiding, right? You know, fight for your country. That's where I'm going to leave it, Robert. I want the Iranian people to rise up and take their country back.
And you know, I hate to say one of these things, and I was a supporter of Charlie Kirk because he educated me. He said a lot of things that I didn't agree with, but the one thing that I do agree with is Islamism is the enemy of the West.
Well,
it's
again,
an enemy of Christianity. It's an
It's
enemy.
a religion that's corrupted. It's been
It's
taken
absolutely
over by
corrupted.
fanatics.
And
By fanatics.
Fanatics have ruined the
Right.
beauty of what they really are.
So, you know, but we're not going to get into that. That's another show for another time. There's so many other issues we can explore right now.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things I want to cuss out.
But we're going to keep it real like we try to every day here.
So with Iran,
So, and I think, again, I can't stress enough that the Iranian people need to rise up. They need to form their own government. They need to take back their country. So let's go. Let's go, Iranian people. I know you're celebrating all over the world. You know,
I know this is off topic.
tell people we're not going to go off topic.
Off topic?
We're
Okay.
not going to go off topic. We're going to stick to this. All right. We've got lots of other shows we can do. All right. So stick with me, brother. All right. You with me?
Yeah, but keep
Okay.
going.
All right.
Tell me more.
I'm pretty much said what I needed to say. I think now with all the other powers, the other countries that have been hit by the Iranians, that hopefully this will end quicker with their help and assistance.
But do you believe this is World War III?
No, I do not.
I agree with you.
Far from.
Far from it. I agree. Yeah, the fear mongering about that is something that, yeah, it's far from it. So with the change now, well, it's not a change, but the removal of the supreme leader in Iran, how do you think that will affect the neighboring countries?
Well, again, you know, that government attacked them, right? Without warning, without provocation. So I believe that they now see that regime change is good. I don't think they were too happy with the regime as it was, and now that is hopefully changing. I think they're going to support the new government of Iran. Hopefully, it's by the Iranian people and not another form of reconstituted Islamic State. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants Iran 2.0. All right, let's forget about that. Let's try and bring democracy to that country. Right? Let's let the people decide what they want.
So
Right?
here's a question, because I'm not well versed in this political realm. But so Pakistan, Syria, the surrounding state countries that are also Islamic, they don't have this type of leadership.
Well, no, you're talking about a completely different region, right? The Pakistan.
Well, I'm talking about all the countries that surround them. Are
Well,
they under Islamic regimes?
Oh no, the big difference is Iran is Persian. I'm not sure if they're Shiite or Sunni, but the majority is either
They're Persian.
Sunni or Shiite, right? I'm not specifically sure as to what form of Islam they follow, but it's completely it's a majority as opposed to the majority of Islam. And we can't even bring Syria into this because Syria's been splintered into so many different groups. So I mean they have little or no say in that right now. So let's hope that again the Iranian people can form a government that's beneficial to them, create a democracy, and prosper. That's what I want for them. I want what's best for them, and they should know what's best for themselves, right? I'm not going to try and tell them this is what you should do. Let them decide. Right?
So I have a question regarding Iran. We have North and South Korea. Is there something to that effect that may happen there, where certain regions are more populated with the non-extremists, where they would flood, and then the extremists would be in their territory? Is that something that would happen, or do you think could happen, or is it far fetched?
No, I don't think we're looking at any kind of extremism. And when you're describing a different region of the world there with the Koreas and the Chinese, that's a different topic and a different show.
Right, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, well, Iran. Is there a prospect of that happening in Iran? A free Iran and a tyrannical Iran in this country of Iran?
I believe and I hope that the Iranian people are able to create a free and open system, a democratic system, if they so choose. It's up to them. As President Trump said, rise up and take back your country. So rise up and take back your country and create a government that is less tyrannical, less bloodthirsty, that doesn't support terrorism, right?
So the military in Iran, is it supportive of the supreme leader, or is it supportive of a free and democratic Iran?
I don't know where the military is right now in terms of the Revolutionary Guard. If some units of the Revolutionary Guard were to defect and join the democratic movement there, that would be great. That would be beneficial.
I think that's what's most important, because without
I
that,
hope that they're able to do that. I hope that they realize that, hey, I don't have to hate. I don't, I just want to be free. I just want to be happy and raise my family and not not worry about constantly trying to destroy Israel or anybody else or impose my will on anybody else. Right? Let there be free will. Right? Let there be free will. Decide. Let the people decide. Right? That's what democracy is about. So let's hope that happens, and let's hope that if we continue to be there and continue to bomb and continue to take out other lower members of their leadership group, then so be it.
so through the media, they have sunk their naval fleet, which was in the Caribbean, not the Caribbean, the Mediterranean, or what's well, I told you, I don't know. This is what I'm trying to ask you. What damages have we done
You're killing me.
that
Listen
are
to me.
going to
Listen to
be
me. Listen to me.
beneficial?
Okay. Well, hopefully
Where was these? It was 9 or 10.
we created regime change. Let's see what happens. Right? We've pretty much neutralized their military. Yes, they're still firing missiles and drones, But again, they're right now they don't seem to be completely on target. Some missiles recently hit Tel Aviv. I believe there was 8 or 9 or something of that nature. Right? It looks like they've stopped attacking their neighbors. Let's hope so. Again, I don't know what their military reserves are. I don't know who's coordinating that. I do know that their command and control structure was destroyed. So you're looking at individual commanders launching missiles without any coordination. So you know, I don't know what the
So it's
the
desperate
current what the current
retaliation
situation
that
is.
they're doing.
So we'll see what goes on here, and we'll be back to talk more. This isn't over, but for now, I once again I go back to the Iranian people. Please coalesce together, come, rise up, take back your country. And
So you agree with what the Americans did?
I agree that regime change needed to happen, and I'm glad, and I'm hopeful that it will happen. This isn't a guarantee that it's going to happen. Again, they can rebuild. So, you know, what is going to happen? Well, we don't know yet, right? That's why we're still there. So let's see what happens. Let's hope the Iranian people come back together and are able to form a government. Let's see if some members of the Revolutionary Guard defect and go and support them. We can only wait and see because this is going to go on for a while. So at this point, I've said everything I need to say, and I will be back to talk more as other things develop. Right? So let's end with that, shall we?
Okay, that sounds good. So that's it for today, and we'll see you guys next time.
We will. Thanks for watching.